Happy Monday. I don't give you guys much warning about my videos, do I? But I like to sneak them in when I can because I simply love sharing some of these oils with you. And I want to make sure that you get great education without the distractions of my little people. So we are sitting on the porch because it's so nice and cool. And the sun is shining for the first time in a couple days, and I am really excited to share with you the 3 oils today that that are some of the most used. They might be the top 3. Frankincense would be in there too. Lavender. See, okay, so if you're just checking in with us, last week we did education on back to the basics. So in light of all the new products that doTERRA's been releasing that are absolutely amazing, I wanted those of you who are new and have started with that Family Essentials kit or the Home Essentials kit to know what a treasure you have in those basic top 10 oils. We've been doing this so long, and so many of you have been with me for as many as 5 years, that these are like the no-brainers. We just use them in our daily life. We don't even pay attention to it because they're so incorporated into what we do. But I want those of you who are newer to feel that same excitement about these top 10 oils. So last week we talked about we did tea tree oil, we did lavender, and we did basil. So those are 3 that are personal favorites for cuts, scrapes, skin. Lavender's calming, tea tree oil is great on the scalp. Together they're a great combination for ear, eye, skin, cut, rash, all those things support. And so, and basil too will enhance those things. Today, I want to share with you, these 2 are in the kit. All right, so these are in those top 10 oils. So every time I do one of these back to the basics, I want to do 2 that are in the top 10 and then 1 that isn't, that you need to know about, that we use a lot. All right, so Peppermint and DigestZen are both in that starter collection, what we call our top 10 oils. And these were game changers in our house. These were the oils that, alongside with Breathe, gave us such dramatic initial results as we started experimenting with natural options for our health and wellness that I had to know more, and I just fell in love with them so quickly. So Peppermint does everything. I personally love it because, I mean, it smells like a candy cane. So those of us who are smell sensitive, I know some of you are, and I think that it's really important that you respect that. This peppermint is going to smell like candy cane to you, and it's so wonderful. So if you've come to any of my events, I've probably snagged your hand and put peppermint and wild orange in your palm and had you breathe that in. This is one of my favorite rituals right now before running or exercising. And yes, nobody expected me to do any running, but I am, and I'm rocking it because I'm not very awake in the morning, and this muggy, terrible heat that we've had for so long makes it really hard to breathe. So this has been fantastic for opening airways. I also stopped having cramps and stuff that I would get because I hadn't had enough water yet, right? So peppermint is fantastic for opening the airways when you use it aromatically. Another thing that I like to tell people when I put it right on them is that this is my favorite way to experience how beautifully pure a pure essential oil is. So 1 drop of doTERRA's peppermint oil is equivalent to 28 cups of peppermint tea. So I want you to take some really important points from that. First of all, less is more frequently. We talked about that in the last video we did. And I will chant that until the cows come home because I want you guys to have the best results with these without experiencing too much or wasting your money. So 1 drop of peppermint's 28 cups of peppermint tea. So what that means is that you don't need much. So when I use this, it is a powerful sinus opening experience. And it wakes up your brain immediately. There's just this vitality that comes with the high quality menthol and oxygenation ability of this peppermint. So that's why this personally is one of my favorites. It's also fantastic for settling the stomach, right? If you read about eating a peppermint when your stomach's upset, I know that this was just a complete godsend during pregnancy with all of the morning sickness that I experienced. And so I would just smell it, and that was enough. Now, it might not work forever. I got to where what I do is I touch the top and I press it under my tongue because it's so good at settling the stomach and filling your whole mind and respiratory tract with that opening ability. So this one's wonderful. Another thing, and the reason why a lot of the men in our world love peppermint, is that it knocks out a headache almost instantly. So when you use it, again, remember, diluting is always better, but I love to touch it on my temples whenever I've got head tension issues. You can also put it over the forehead. So, I mean, go crazy if you like it. Now, I tried that on my son, and he was like, Mom, it burns. So remember, these are strong, right? Dilute, and don't put it on the faces of kids. You can try it on yourself, but have some coconut oil nearby, because if you hate it, don't do it. It'll make your eyes water a little bit. If that's the case, dilute it and put it on the back of the neck. Okay, so you can put this on the back of your neck to help with head tension as well. The other great reason to apply it diluted on the back of the neck is that it's incredibly cooling. So hot flash, if you've got a hot flash with hormones going wild, this will cool you off. It feels incredible. If you're on a hot car ride, or if you're working out in the garden and you feel overheated, another time to grab peppermint, because it's going to cool you down really nicely. Also, when kids start to feel warm, right, their immune systems are feeling really crummy, I used to go grab the Tylenol, right? But you don't need that anymore. I put this either in a lukewarm bath. That's one way you can do it with very low risk of skin irritation, or dilute it and put it down that spine, and it's going to help cool that baby's body without needing to introduce something synthetic that they'll have to metabolize while their immune system's trying to battle whatever bug they're facing. So this one is fantastic, and of course it settles the stomach, so that helps too. Peppermint is one of our favorites. I carry this with me everywhere. Another thing that it's great for, we talked about making the miracle cream last time. So for any kind of skin irritation, it's a great diaper rash cream. What we put in the miracle cream recipe is lavender, melaleuca, tea tree oil, and frankincense. Now, over this past summer, our yard went nuts with poison ivy. And so I had a lot of people asking, because there was just so much poison ivy out this year. What you want to grab if you've got poison ivy irritation is the lavender, frankincense, and peppermint. Put the tea tree oil in there too if you want. It's fantastic for helping keep it clean if it started to bubble up, right? And it'll help dry it out. But if you add that peppermint to your miracle cream recipe, it's going to cool that terrible itchy irritation very effectively, and it feels fantastic. So I had some poison ivy, and I wouldn't wish it on my worst enemy, because itchiness is not fun. So if you need something for itch, this also is really fantastic for that. Again, remember, it's really cooling and it's really powerful. So less is more. Less is more often. Do it more frequently versus trying to do a whole lot at once. All right, peppermint, game changer. You'll carry this one everywhere. You'll love it because it's doTERRA's. It's pure, it's full-bodied. It's got all those benefits packed into one drop versus some of the ones that I know you guys can find at Dollar General. It might smell like peppermint, but it very well could cause headaches or tension. And so I really don't want you to experience any negative experience with peppermint. Another thing I wanted to mention about peppermint, I told you it's good for everything, right? Peppermint is in our combination with lavender and lemon for seasonal stuff. So as the weather changes and allergens are coming out, this is a really great one to proactively support a healthy allergic response. So you can use this daily in the morning. I roll it right on the back. We call it our seasonal blend. It's just equal parts lemon, lavender, and peppermint diluted in a roller bottle with fractionated coconut oil. And we just roll it on the back of their necks in the morning, and that set us free from that seasonal Claritin stuff. And so that's been really wonderful. You can take this one internally. So if you want to take that seasonal combination in a veggie cap or in a shot of water, it also works that way. So peppermint becomes your new best friend, especially when the weather changes. You got respiratory stuff, you've got focus issues as it starts to get dark earlier. You're going to try to exercise. These are really wonderful. Oh, one last nerdy fact. Can you tell I get so excited? I really haven't had coffee this morning. I haven't had much at all. Peppermint is shown. So 1 drop of peppermint under the tongue is actually shown to increase grip strength by 33%. This prevents your body's lactic acid response because it opens cells' ability to oxygenate. How cool is that? So you actually get physically stronger because your muscles won't fatigue as quickly. So if you're trying to do any kind of muscle building, this is also a really good one. You can rub it topically over that muscle group that you're working on, and it'll help prevent soreness. If the soreness is already there, it's also going to help with that healing process and pull that soreness out. But my favorite is to put it under my tongue or in a little shot of water. And I wanted to talk for a minute about that because since we're doing back to the basics, I wanted to explain a little bit about the 3 different ways that you can use essential oils, right? So if you've come to one of my classes, you've heard this before. You can use them aromatically, right? Breathe them in. That's great for the lungs. It's great for emotions. So that's a fantastic way to use them. It's also very low risk because you think about having a diffuser in your room. There's probably not a whole lot of oil coming out and into your system at a time. Second is you can use it topically. Make sure you're always diluting so that you're avoiding skin sensitivity and also so that it doesn't evaporate off your skin. It'll absorb better if you have that dilutant on it and it gets more of a surface area. So it's always a good idea to dilute on the skin. But the reason why I personally love taking very small amounts internally is because I'm a control freak. So if you think about the absorption, when you're diffusing, you're not getting a whole lot. Depends how close you are to the diffuser, depends how much flashed, evaporated into the air, right? If you put it on topically, there's a lot that evaporates. Great for the skin, but I never know how much my body is absorbing and when. It takes a little while, right, to go through that skin and into the bloodstream. On the bottom of the feet, so 1 drop of essential oil on the bottom of the feet is shown to circulate through your bloodstream within 30 seconds. So it's not a huge delay, but there is a time release to it also. Some of it hits that bloodstream quickly and some of it's still sitting on the skin being absorbed. The control freak in me likes to know exactly how much I'm absorbing when. And that's why I love to do it orally. When you put an essential oil in your mouth, it has direct access to the bloodstream, either through under your tongue or on the roof of your mouth. So 100% of that oil is being absorbed into the body at that moment. Another thing that's great about taking them internally is that you don't have to worry as much about skin sensitivity. So think about adding it to a veggie cap. What might be different between adding it to a veggie cap versus putting it in your mouth orally? Well, the difference is that now it's going to go into the gut and pass through those barriers before it's into the bloodstream. So that's the best way to benefit your digestive system, right? Because it's hitting your digestive tract first. All of this makes sense. So I love to take peppermint in particular because I know I'm going to get the respiratory support. It's in my head. I know exactly how much I'm absorbing when, and I know that it's going to give me immediate benefit. and without skin sensitivity. So that's personally why some of these are my favorite to add to water. Don't do something you're not comfortable with. All three of these ways benefit the body. And I want you to trust your intuition about what you prefer, especially when working with kids. Let them decide how they want to put their oils on, or just stick it on the bottom of their feet, cover it in socks. That's the lowest risk, and they don't have to smell it. So peppermint is fantastic for that. Peppermint is also great for focus. So that's one of the reasons why it makes me feel more awake, right? It helps clear my mind of those cobwebs. And so peppermint is a personal favorite. If you can't tell, really like some peppermint. The Family Essentials kit, so we call the small bottle kit, it's 5 milliliter bottles versus the Home Essentials, that's large bottles. This is 5 milliliters versus 15. So 3 times as much oil in the bigger ones. But the small bottle kit comes with beadlets. So if you haven't tried the peppermint beadlets yet, please add those to your order this month because you will love them. So if you enjoy Altoids and want a sugar-free version that is powerful and amazing and a lot easier to carry in your purse than this big old bottle, snag your peppermint beadlets. In a beadlet, they're teeny tiny, I should have grabbed them, is only 1/3 of a drop of peppermint. And so if you have a tummy ache or your kids have a tummy ache, they can swallow that. They won't have to taste it. And then their gut will get that peppermint support in a teeny tiny little minuscule amount. But it's still powerful. I mean, I'll warn you, it's as strong as an Altoid when you let it pop in your mouth. But you're going to fall in love with them because they are a great way to have your peppermint on hand. All right. So DigestZen piggybacks really well on that. My husband called my oils my voodoo for 6 months, and then I got tired of buying him bottles of Tums. So I said, would you please just give it a try, and if it doesn't work, I'll go back to buying you the Tums. Just try it for 2 weeks. So what he would do is he would put his DigestZen in a little shot of water in the morning. My husband does nothing consistently. I can't get him to take a daily vitamin. None of these things work for him. And so I don't know how often he did it, but he came to me about a month later, and I had said something offhand to a friend about how my Josh didn't believe any of this was legit. He said, haven't you noticed I'm not taking Tums? And I was like, well, are you taking your medication? Because he was on for reflux. And he's like, no, I quit it all. I was like, are you still using the DigestZen? Because I haven't seen you touch it. He's like, nope, don't need that either. So he found freedom from reflux issues by adding this to a shot of water. Just like peppermint, you can use it topically. So dilute it and put it over the outside of the stomach. This is fantastic for gut support. So it has the mint in it, but it also has fennel and anise and ginger, and all of these things make a incredibly immediate tummy taming option for your wellness. So add it to a little shot of water and drink it down after you've eaten something at a restaurant that didn't agree with you. Grab it if your kids are dealing with a tummy bug. Put it on topically diluted on the outside of their belly to help settle that stomach. Roll it topically if you deal with reflux and don't like the taste. Put it on and in you, and you're going to fall in love with how much better your stomach feels. So this is a really, really incredible one for supporting that gut and settling the stomach. Interestingly, though, it also breaks up mucus. So if you have DigestZen and you didn't know this, store this away. When you have sinus congestion that's stuck, you know what I'm talking about? Like you can't blow it out, nothing makes it come loose, or you've got that chest thing and you just can't get it to come out. DigestZen breaks up mucus. Roll it there and watch out. You'll have to have that tissue nearby because it also breaks up stuck congestion really powerfully. Again, remember, dilute, because if you're putting it on your forehead, it's got that mint. It might be powerful on your eyes, but it's going to be so great when you get to release all that nasty. DigestZen, awesome, awesome stuff. Awesome stuff. And I also want to talk today about Copaiba, because if you hadn't noticed, doTERRA is doing a promotion this month. So if you're on your monthly wellness order, and you place an order over 200 PV, PV is our point measurement, so you can get free stuff, which is approximately $200 in oils. So any order over 200, and you get 3 oils for free from doTERRA. I didn't calculate how much this is exactly, which is a flaw on my part because I like to be perfectionist, but I know it's well over $70 in oils wholesale because these two are fantastic. I don't know a whole lot about yellow mandarin yet, so I'm going to have to explore that one and get back to you. It's not one that's available for sale though. So this is one that you can only get through this promotion. And so yellow mandarin, you'll have to help me look up. I know it's great for the skin, but a lot of them are really good for the skin. And so I'd like to explore a little more about it. I want to sit on Copaiba here for a second in terms of education. How many of y'all have noticed that there's a CBD craze going on? Lots of advertisements for CBD oil. There is a lot of very well published research that it is very calming to the inflammation response in the body, helps with focus. I have not gone too far into that because it makes me nervous. And so when something makes me nervous, I know I need to research it ad nauseum until I find a peace about it. And thankfully, doTERRA saved me the trouble because Copaiba is a plant-based cannabinoid that does not stimulate the brain directly like weed. And so CBD is just that, that cannabis oil with the THC removed. So there's a synthetic part of it where, you know, there had to be an actual like lab alteration done to the plant. That makes me a little bit nervous. Different companies, the fact that it's so popular makes me nervous about purity and what's made in a lab versus what actually comes from a plant. These are just some things that made me a little nervous about CBD oil. Another fact, CBD oil is not an essential oil. Essential oils are extracted from the plant as they are. CBD oil is put into an oil base after that THC is removed. So that's an interesting little fact for you too. They behave differently though. So if you are enjoying CBD oil, I have so many stories where I know people have just really fallen in love with it. It's expensive. It's pricey. And so if you're looking for an option that's great for everyone and less expensive, start researching Copaiba. So I want to tell you a little bit about it. First of all, Copaiba does not come from that same plant. It doesn't come from the hemp plant. It's an essential oil that is sourced out of Brazil, I believe, South America somewhere. And yet it's in that same family of plant. So it has a lot of the same behaviors. But what's neat about it is that it naturally doesn't have the THC in it. And it directly stimulates with what's called the CB2 receptor in your nervous system that helps with immune system, helps with inflammation response, even helps with digestion and brain focus, right? So Copaiba works across the board at calming chronic issues in the body. So you think about the inflammation pathway. We experience inflammation because we get an injury, and that's a healthy response. We should experience inflammation to help that injury heal. But when we're in chronic inflammation, it takes a toll on the body and is the source, one of the primary sources of all disease. Heart, cancers, all these things. When your body is in chronic response, inflammation response, that's when you get the joint pain and the heart issues and all kinds of other things going on. So Copaiba calms that. Copaiba is also powerful for calming the digestive tract, which is why I wanted to pair it today with DigestZen and Peppermint. 70% of your immune system is in your gut. There's also a huge gut-brain link in terms of the ability our body has to deal with anxiety and stress. Copaiba is going to calm that and support a healthy gut. So unlike a lot of this, well, I won't even go there. Sorry, that's probably a very non-compliant thing to say about the medication that students that I taught had to take. It made their stomachs so upset, right? That's just a side effect of those medications. And I don't want that for your kids. I don't want it for your kids. So how would you use Copaiba? Copaiba can be used aromatically. It can be used topically. Or it can be used internally. And research is being done right now to explore which of those is the best option. Turns out taking Copaiba internally is a fantastic way to benefit all those areas. The gut, the immune response, your brain health, your focus, your ability to manage stress. All of these things are balanced well when you take them internally. And so that's why doTERRA created the soft gel version. I take one of these every night before bed, and it helps me sleep better. I love the Serenity Complex. I take one of these and I take the Serenity Complex and I sleep like a baby. And by the way, I have some really fantastic fun dreams. So I know that I'm sleeping deeply, and I know that my body is getting that chance to heal overnight. Another really cool thing, and I know I've probably overloaded you with all of my cool facts, but another really cool thing about Copaiba is that just like frankincense, it's an enhancer oil. So whenever you're making a blend that you're trying to target something specific, if it's gut, if it's head tension, if it's pain management, put Copaiba in it because it enhances the benefits of the other oils that you've paired with it. Copaiba as an enhancer oil is a very, very powerful tool as well, because then you know that not only are you going to get the safe benefits of, say, lavender, you're also going to get Copaiba's boost that's going to allow that lavender to be even more effective in a body that's dealing with a little less stress and a little less inflammation. So this is an amazing one to use on your kids, use on yourself, add to your skincare. It's fantastic for the skin. Again, like I said, as an enhancer oil, it boosts it all. It's, I think, $30 wholesale. So compare that to CBD oil, and you've got 250 drops here. Hopefully that lasts you a month or more. And you're going to see a whole realm of health freedom using this one that you didn't have before. And you can get it for free this month. So if you have not gotten your wholesale access, this is the month to go ahead and snag your top 10 in that Home Essentials kit, the larger bottle kit, which also comes with the diffuser, the pedal diffuser that'll run 10 hours on about 10 to 12 drops of oil. Love that thing. You've got your top 10, including the frankincense that we're going to talk about on our next one, because it's by far my favorite one to nerd out on especially. Frankincense is a pricier one on its own, but in that set, you get it with all those other 9 and your great value. So you'd get your peppermint, you'd get your DigestZen, you'd get your tea tree oil and lavender that we talked about last week, and you'd get your Copaiba and yellow mandarin for free. So that's really going to be a fantastic way to make the most of your money, get the most bang for your buck. And of course, I got to spoil you with goodies and stuff too. So if you have any oils in particular that you want me to chat about, I'm more than happy to do so. We're going to work our way through these top 10 and then add one each time that is not in the set that we love a lot in our home and have found great benefits, so that you've got the real basics nailed down as you're enjoying your essential oils. One last thing I wanted to do is I wanted to update on the cleanse. So I'm going to post this separately as well. I really would love to know how you guys are doing with the cleanse. So we had kind of like a staggered start with 2 or 3 groups. And so I want to hear if you guys are hanging in there with me. I have to confess, went to a reunion yesterday, and all it was sweets. So I ate more sweets than I've probably eaten in 6 months. I felt awful. I got home, I got my DigestZen, I took 2 Terrazyme. My daughter did the same thing. She's like, I can't sleep, I feel so sick. And it's because we loaded up on like our weight in sugar. And so I'm confessing to you that on the cleanse, when you stumble, You can add these oils in to feel better right away and just pick up where you left off the next day. So I took my fiber this morning, I was drinking my water, and I'm on phase 3, which is the renew phase. So I've got the hard stuff behind me. The detox oil is the Zendocrine. The GX Assist is the gut stuff, the gut cleanse, which made my skin go crazy. That's really been my number one thing. I thought I could blame it on the heat, but I'm pretty sure it was the detox. And then now I'm finally into the DDR Prime, which is the cellular renewal. And so watch me. A month from now, my skin and my hair are going to look 1,000 times better, just in time for the holidays. And so I want the same for you. Check through our archives. Just go to the search bar and search cleanse without misery or extremes. Just type in cleanse and misery if you want, and you will learn all about the cleanse stuff that we went through. And we'll do that again at the new year. So all that education we'll revisit then. Enjoy your oils this season. Enjoy the cool weather. Celebrate time with family as the holidays are beginning and the kids are back in the groove with all their school stuff. And hang on to your oils. Keep them with you so that when those family reunions with lots of sugar come along, you've got something to calm the stomach as well as help your kids and boost their immune system. Snag your free Copaiba this month and comment if there are other oils that you very much would like me to do sooner rather than later. And I would be more than happy to nerd out any day of the week to share more with you. Bye, you all.